baby is born, it's an incredible miracle, the miracle of a new life coming into the world. But that is actually just the very beginning of an entire lifetime process. Imagine if the nurse or the mother said, as soon as the baby was born, well, our job's done, good luck, have a great life, learn to feed yourself, learn to walk by yourself, and you'll be right, no problem. That would be absolutely crazy, because that little baby desperately needs help. It desperately needs nurture and care, and needs its mother's love. It needs someone to feed it and clothe it and change its nappy and everything. That baby can't live by itself. It needs the support of a loving and caring family and friends around it. And it's the same in our spiritual lives. When we become Christians, we can't do it alone. We can't live the Christian life on our own for very long. We need a loving family, as it were. We need people around us who can encourage us, who can strengthen us, who can help us to grow in our Christian life. Well, how do we get that? Well, that is where the church comes in. Now, I don't know what you think of when you hear the word church, but for most people, they just think of an old building. A building with a steeple and a cross on top and stained glass windows and old wooden pews and, going there for 1 hour on a Sunday and going through some rituals. That's what most people think church is. But, the Bible paints a different picture of church. In fact, church actually has nothing to do with the building at all. Church is simply people. Church is simply the people of God, a group of Christians gathered together to encourage each other, to worship God, and to grow in their Christian life together. That's what the church is. You don't even need a building to have church. You can have a church in a house. You can have church out in the backyard, out on the beach, wherever Christians gather together to worship and encourage each other and grow in their Christian life. That's church. That's what church is all about. And you and I, we need to be a part of a loving spiritual family to grow in our Christian life. Because, many people say, well, I don't need anyone else to be a Christian. I have my own personal relationship with God. Isn't that enough? Can't I just read the Bible by myself and grow by myself? Well, I guess you could try, but that's not the way God planned it. That's not His ultimate design for our Christian lives. He designed us just like to be in a physical family. God also designed us to be in a spiritual family together with other people where we can love each other and encourage each other and grow together. And that's the purpose of the church. The church is not a building. The church is people. And we all need a spiritual family. You need it, and so do I. Well, you might say, well, why? Why do I need to belong to a church? I'm not sure about the whole church thing. Well, there are a number of reasons. Firstly, because we all need nurture and care. Just like a little baby needs to be nurtured and cared for by its mother and its parents, so especially as a new Christian, we need to be nurtured and cared for spiritually. And you need other Christians around you to encourage you, especially Christians who have been a little bit further along in the journey, been Christians maybe for a longer time and understand their relationship with God a little bit better, understand the Bible a little bit better. You can learn so much from them. You can be encouraged by their faith, and they can be a good example to you of what it means to live the Christian life. And we all need to learn from other people. So we need that kind of nurture and care. And especially as a new Christian, it's just so wonderful to have other Christians around you where you can ask questions if you don't understand part of the Bible, or you don't understand something that Jesus said or something that another Christian said. You can ask them and they can help you to grow more in your Christian life. So we need that kind of nurture and care, just like a little baby does. Also, we need nourishment and support in our Christian life. And the great thing about the church is that God has given special people special gifts. He's actually given gifts to all of us. But some people have a special gift of teaching and preaching, or being a pastor, or being a leader in the church. And their role is to teach you and encourage you in your Christian life. That's why God put them there in the church, to encourage you to understand more about the Bible and more about what it means to live the Christian life. And so we need those kind of people to encourage us to grow strong in our Christian life. So pastors and teachers and leaders are there to help you, and that's the purpose of the church. Well, why else do we need it? We need it for nourishment, we need it for growth. But also, it's not just about going and receiving every Sunday. You have a part to play. You have something to give in your local church, because God has given you special talents, abilities, and gifts, and you can be a blessing to your church. You have something to offer to your church. Whether that be maybe you have a musical gift and you can be a part of the music team. Maybe you can be maybe you're great at cooking and you can help to serve in the cooking team, or maybe you have a gift of leadership and you need to develop that and learn how to lead groups eventually in the church. I don't know what your specific gifts or talents are, but you have a part to play. And let me encourage you not just to go and sit there every Sunday, but to ask, how can I be involved? How can I serve and be a blessing in my local church? Maybe it's just greeting people at the front door with a smiling face. That's a wonderful thing to do. So let me encourage you. The church, when you find a good church, it's a wonderful thing to be a part of, and it will really help you to grow in your Christian life. So let me encourage you to find a good church. Find a church that's alive. Find a church where you can experience good fellowship, good friendship with other Christians, where there's good teaching from the Bible, good preaching from the Bible that will help you to understand it more and grow in your Christian life. Good worship, where you can worship together with other Christians. And most importantly, where you can feel at home and you can feel a part of that local church. And I'm sure you'll discover that it's just a wonderful experience to be part of a group of Christians who together want to follow Jesus and live the kind of lives that he wants us to live. So that is what the church is all about. Be a part of it. All right, well, it's time to get into your study groups and just read through the introduction together, go through the Bible passages and questions together. And of course, don't forget your memory verse for this week about fellowship. And it's from the book of Hebrews. Let's read that together now. Hebrews 10:25. Let us not give up meeting together as some are in the habit of doing, but let us encourage one another, and all the more as you see the day approaching. Well, have a great time fellowshipping in your small groups, and we'll see you again next week.